yourself
before you wreck yourself.
G'day, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to 2C3 Pod's weekly YouTube review segment. My name is Mitchell, along with
Dylan.
And what do we call that weekly YouTube review segment there, Dylan?
We call this review segment Two's Company, Three's a Podcast, 2C3 Pod, DTCR does the cinema.
That's right, Dylan. Along with this catchy title comes some catchy theme music. So whack that button and let's get into it.
Coming at you fresh, coming from afar, it's 2C3 Pod, DTC.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for 2C3 Pod DTCR Does the Cinema. Now, we have a weekly podcast. All links are down below. And we discuss the films coming to theatres that weekend.
That's
that
right.
we can review for this very segment.
Yep.
Now, we had a bit of a conflict of interests, you could call it, where we couldn't pick one that we both agreed upon. So we took the chance to go and see two films, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail.
Double review this week.
Exactly, that's right. So we'll get into mine in a moment, but I wanted you to let us know, what did you see and what did you think?
Okay, so as you can see in the thumbnail, on my side, I went to see Liam Neeson's latest very stock standard action flick, Honest Thief. And here is my review of the film. This film is very, very standard. However, it is also very enjoyable.
Okay.
Because you know exactly what to expect with an action film starring Liam Neeson and Liam Neeson.
Yes.
So, like, if you've seen...
Wait. Is he in it twice?
He is in it twice.
Oh, wait, really?
No.
He plays two
so
characters?
What I'm saying is like, this film is quintessentially Liam Neeson and nothing else. You know,
Liam Neeson as Liam Neeson.
Pretty much, you know. So also starring Kate Walsh, Jai Courtney, Jeffrey Donovan as well, and also a supporting role from Robert Patrick, who you'd know from Terminator 2.
Yes,
I love that guy. Spoiler alert, you see it in the trailer, he dies fairly early, but that's okay. It drives the story forward.
Yeah.
The main villain being played by Australia's own Jai Courtney.
Lovely.
Who I think is quite good in most of the films he's been in. He's just been in not very good films.
True.
You know, so he's kind of had
Captain Boomerang, right?
Oh, great. Yeah, Captain Boomerang is great.
Yeah, he was probably one of the few bright spots in that average movie.
That's right. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think he is something like Jai Courtney. Just on him for a moment, I think he is a great actor. He does a very good bad guy in this film because essentially the story is about Liam Neeson's character. He's robbed banks over the years. He's stole an equivalent of $9 million. Yeah,
that's not much.
In saying that, he's never spent a cent of it. So the honest thief aspect is that he's met a woman. He spent all this time single, robbing banks, never spent $1 of it, and then he meets a woman, and then he wants to return all of the money that he's stolen in order to have a lesser prison sentence, so he can then, when he is out of prison, he gets to spend the rest of his life with the woman of his dreams, also played by Kate Walsh, who you'd know from 13 Reasons Why, and I think she's a fantastic actress. But overall, the story is very strange in that aspect. It's a very stock standard action flick.
I feel like I need to ask the generic question here. Okay, so he's stolen $9 million over the years. Okay, why hasn't he spent it? No idea?
No.
Okay, and also, he's like 78 years old,
and
he's only stole $9 million.
Well, he was in the army for a long time, so he's an ex-Marine, and he's had a pretty rich history throughout his life, but they don't explain too much other than the fact that he was a bomb expert in the Marines, essentially, so he knows how to make bombs.
There's lots of explodies in the trailer I saw.
That's right. So he knows how to rig a bomb and he knows how to do it, and he does explain the reasons why he has robbed banks. In saying that, they explain how he robs the banks and why he robs the bank, but there's no real reason as to why he never spent the money apart from the fact he's just a good guy.
But full stop. You rob banks.
That's the thing.
I'm sorry.
So the story is, they explain the reason why is because his old man worked a very honest, hard life, and then something happened. I can't quite remember it, but it'll be a spoiler anyway if I explain it. But essentially, a particular bank or something happened that robbed his father of his retirement, leaving him with
so
nothing.
He just took it as like a...
Basically. So he continued to rob banks because he was good at it. But in saying
and then he got busted.
No, he never got busted. He turns himself in.
Oh, he turns himself in to give back the money. Right.
That's right. So he was never caught. And that's the whole thing about this film, is that he was never caught, but he also never spent any of the money because he's such a nice guy. But then the logic comes back to, fair enough, he stole from banks, and banks' money is insured, which is a weird concept in itself, but you're still stealing from people.
No, that's exactly right. Like,
But he's an honest man, and he wants to give it back because he's met the woman of his dreams. But then the policeman...
Why doesn't he just, like, leave? Why did he have to turn himself in at all?
Because movie.
Oh, content.
plot.
Right?
Yes,
Exactly.
content. It's all about the content.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the film does set that up that he's a nice guy. He's got the money and he's looking for a second chance, essentially, and he's trying to break a deal.
Yeah.
Jai Courtney and his cop buddy then decide, you know what, we want this money for ourselves.
Yeah.
It all goes wrong, and people die, and then Liam Neeson, a 78-year-old man, as we said,
Yes.
punches on with 30-year-old police officers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, as I said, very standard action flick, but because you know exactly what you're going to get, it's enjoyable.
A little bit of a
Yeah.
popcorn flick.
It is definitely a quintessential popcorn flick.
Love.
The only downside to this, other than a few of the plot points, which don't make a whole lick of sense, but this is the kind of character they're trying to build up, is the way Liam Neeson speaks. I love this man to death. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and I've seen him in a lot of great things over the years.
Yeah.
But it's just weird when he's on the phone and he's explaining exposition, he's saying it like he is still playing Zeus from Wrath of the Titans.
Okay, right.
I've got $9 million and I wish to turn myself in. I want to be a good guy and I've met a woman and I want to be with her with the rest of my life. And the dude on the phone's like, yeah, right. You know, like, just tone back.
It sounds good, mate.
Yeah, tone back the epicness of your exposition. And I think it would be more believable, but he's just so thematic with everything he says. And I think that's just Liam Neeson. That's just who he is.
No.
But overall, pretty standard action flick. You're going to get exactly what you expect. And overall, I had a good time. I will give this a rating out of 10 of about 6.
Okay.
6.5. You know,
serviceable.
it is absolutely serviceable. So if you're
for what it was.
into Taken and all of those kind of, you know, very stock standard Liam Neeson action flicks, this is a film that's most definitely for you.
Okay.
I would say it's a level above direct to DVD.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say
yeah,
that, which is
yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I did have a good time. So Honest Thief, not bad.
Okay,
Not
no,
bad.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Now,
On
the
to
moment
yours.
we have all been waiting for.
Yes.
Okay, so I called an audible, as I told Dylan during the week, and basically I had the choice of a couple of Australian films. There was the old one with Michael Keaton.
Yep.
No. He's in Rams coming out this week. My bad. No, the Old Folks Home with Shane Jacobson and that. And then there was a comedy.
I don't remember the name of it, but yes.
Exactly. But anyway, I decided, no, fuck it. I'm going to see one that we missed out on a couple of weeks ago when we saw Bloody Hell, which was fantastic. Australian horror
Check
film.
out that review. Links down below.
Absolutely. And I went and saw the true story inspired New Zealand gang film, Savage.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to say this to you up front, Dylan, okay?
Yes.
Now, taking out January at the beginning of the year, where we had a couple of fantastic films come out, 1917, The Gentleman, of the likes and that, and then COVID took the world to shit.
Yep.
This is my favourite movie of the year.
Wow.
By far.
Holy shit.
By far, my
Really?
friend. Savage is essentially the story of a gang member named Damage. Okay, and his name is Danny, but it tracks back to his
Danny
childhood.
Damage.
No, they don't use his first name, but they call him Damage. But they track back through his childhood and the experiences. And basically, this is the story of a little boy who got lost in the system and the paths that he took to turn into this vicious killer, essentially. And it is an absolutely incredible, confronting story. It will actually have you on the edge of your seat, have you feeling all the feels.
Yeah, right.
It is intense, man. It is intense and in all the right ways. And man, it is heartwarming as well.
Oh,
it's
really?
heartwarming
Okay.
in this Thugland story about this kid who just basically one little mistake and he just got turned against the world,
Right.
you know, and just lost all connections with family.
Yep.
Everything, had to find his own path, became family with like brothers on the street, essentially, kind of thing, and just forming bonds and creating this gang. And dude, this is a roller coaster.
So,
it is intense, man.
In last week's podcast, in the Arsehole Past, when we decided what we were going to see, if you would, because we didn't talk about Savage at all, because that was going to be the previous week's option, but we saw Bloody Hell instead. If you, like, my option was Honest Thief, and you had a few different options. If you actually said, you know what, Savage, I would have been like, okay, done.
No, I know.
In saying that, right as of this recording, I'm still on annual leave. I may go see it tomorrow.
I highly, highly recommend
Okay.
you do. And then next week you have 2 parts to the review or something like that, because I'll happily talk about this again and be able
Okay.
to discuss it backwards and forwards with you, because it is so good. The flashback scenes, all the performances.
You've got me jazzed about it. I'm excited for tomorrow now.
That's the thing, man. And for a Kiwi production, like, it's not like I expect like less out of them, because the films that Kiwi productions have been phenomenal, you know?
Yeah.
But this just, I don't know, I just saw the trailer and went, oh yeah, it looks more fascinating than the other options. Session started at the exact same time and I went, oh fuck it, I'll go and see it. And that's when I sent you that message. Man, it is so in your face. It is so in your face. There's so many scenes I want to point out where it's like, oh, and the tension build up and then it just snaps. And then there's so many scenes that make you very uncomfortable as well,
Ooh,
especially with
okay.
his childhood as well. Like, as in, they're not afraid to like mix like almost rape and pedophilia, and like there's a lot of turning cogs here, man. Like
Okay.
child abuse and stuff. Like it's
So a lot of adult
bonkers.
themes that play into the narrative.
I believe it's rated MA 15+, but it deserves an R.
Yeah.
Like it could be an R just based on like being confrontational and
Okay.
like making you uneasy kind of thing. But Savage, if it's in your local cinema at the moment, give it a chance. It is phenomenal. Like I cannot talk highly enough about this movie.
Excellent.
The performances as well. Jake Ryan, he's best known from Home and Away. He's a recurring character on there, but he plays Damage, and he does a phenomenal job. At first, I was a little bit like, I'm not sure the portrayal of this character. Then they go back all through his timeline to where he becomes an adult, and you're like, okay, that
get
made
it.
sense now because of everything about this. Savage.
So you've
is
said, like,
amazing.
out of all of the films that we've seen this year, fair enough, there was a big blank spot where COVID really hit before cinemas reopened. You said at the top of your review that this is the best film of the year so far.
No. I said, remember pre-COVID, that January period,
Oh, well,
taking that aside.
I was gonna say,
because
going against
taking
The
aside
Gentleman in
maybe, like,
1917, for example.
no, that's what I mean. Taking aside the first like 3 weeks of the year
Yeah.
when we had those big blockbusters coming back to back, and they were all phenomenal,
Okay.
well-deserving films.
So up there.
This one, 100%. This
Okay,
is
very
definitely top 3, maybe like top. At the end of the year, this is going to be in my top 3.
Yeah,
Full stop. Like
sure.
100%. I can't talk highly enough about this movie. Written and directed by Sam Kelly. Done a phenomenal job. Madman Films production. It is bonkers good.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. Like this deserves to be seen across the world. Like
Good
it's
news,
a
good news.
fantastic film. Out of 10, easy 9.3. Like
Okay, what loses the 0.7%?
oh, just because of the topic and stuff being a gang type film and that
Yeah.
kind of thing, like it's not your Godfather.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, as in, it's more focused on, they don't drive bikies, but that looks more like a bikie type gang as opposed to a mafia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, for the concept and that, and also being based on true stories, I don't know how true all of it is.
Well, yeah,
That kind of thing. Might have been, like, I wouldn't say Hollywoodized.
Dramatized.
Aucklandized.
Aucklandized, yeah.
But no, essentially, yeah, I reckon a solid 9.3. Like,
Excellent.
Yeah, I definitely want to go and see this again. So
Great.
if you go
Well,
and
there-
see it, man, we might have time.
Yeah,
And I might
excellent.
come with you again.
Excellent, cool.
Yeah.
I might pencil it in. Anyway,
Yes.
we've got two fascinating films to review this week. We've got Honest Thief, which, as I said, I gave around a 6 or 6.5 or so. Very stock standard, passable action flick starring Liam Neeson, and the surprise smash hit,
Yes.
Savage.
Bonkers good. I can't talk highly enough about it.
Yeah. Anyway, you can certainly find our podcast. As we said, links are down below, but also social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at 2C3 Pod.
That's right. And find the podcast, as you said, all links down below. But we have a cliche slogan we've got to bust through.
Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. Big Summer Blowout. Thanks for watching this review. We'll be back with another review next week. My name is Dylan, and as always, with my co-host.
Mitchell. And do not forget, we are Two's Company, and
You are the podcast.